Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. This is your host, Rising Oblivion. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. So yes, this is the port. But before we jump into this, I would like to say thank you to the people over at Atlus for giving me an early code for this game. I appreciate that so much. Tori, I appreciate, me being able to reach out to you and you giving me a code and whatnot. So thank you, Atlus, for giving me an early code for this game. It's a pleasure to work for you guys, as always, so thank you so much for that. But this is going to be basically your overall video talking about this Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and this is going to be a video for people who have never played this game, and for the people who have played this that want to know basically how well is this port done. The footage you're seeing is it on Steam. I did get the game through Steam, but there is also, the PS4 version and the Switch version, and I have a couple of friends and whatnot who have actually have the different versions, so I can help you know a little bit more about that stuff as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff that you can actually find from this game. There's a little bit of everything for everyone for this game, if you like fighting games anyway. I think not only just Persona fans could love this game, but I also think fighting fans can love this game as well. This is the Arc System people, so if you played the Dragon Ball Fighters or Fighter Z or whatever you want to call it, same people. They made this game before they made the Fighters game for the Dragon Ball stuff. So you can see how well of a fighting game this is going to be. So this is not just your typical Persona spin-off, but an actual very, good and thought out fighting game. But let's go into the main menu of this game and talk a little bit about some of the different modes and things like that that you can have within this title. So because this is Arena Ultimax, technically there is like two sort of story modes for this game. You do have two different modes that you can actually go into to try and get the story out of this. So you have the episode P4, and then you have the P4A story mode, which is two different kind of story modes that you can play through there. So you have that when it comes to the actual story stuff that you can do. It's more visual novel than anything, just to let you know. There's an arcade mode, typical arcade mode, score attack mode, fight against CPU, get the highest score, go in arena mode, which is actually more like a jrpg where you level up and stuff, which is honestly a really cool mode. And then your typical versus mode, but that's just a local mode, sort of on the same system and whatnot. But there is network stuff, so you can play online with your friends. I think on the respective console or whatever, it's not crossplay. There's ranked matches, regular player matches, the leaderboards, you can see that with your friends, the player list, and also your Persona card, which this is sort of like your ID card that you see online when you play with your friends. You have some different icons and stuff like that that you can choose, and you unlock different stuff through playing this game. So you can actually have different icons, different titles, you can show the different times when you're active, when you're playing and stuff like that, and you can even leave a comment. So this is a cool way to show a little bit of like how much you've played this game, show off your accolades, I guess you could say, when you're playing this online. But this game does have some really cool ways of how to basically learn. So there's a lesson mode which teaches you how to play, training mode which is where you fight dummies, you try stuff out, but there's also the challenge mode which goes through every single character and goes through all of their moves so you can learn every single character, because you're going to have some mains, you're going to need to learn all of the different combos for every character to know. There's also a theater mode, a gallery mode. The gallery mode is what it is. You get to see different, arts and the illustrations. The movies are here as well throughout the game. You obviously have to unlock some, but you have a decent amount of them. You have the Japanese voices, the English voices, different voice clips and stuff. I don't know how many people are really going to go back to this, but this is something you could do. I think there's some background music and stuff like that that you can also listen to in the gallery mode. So overall, this game is packed full of content. You have good practice modes, two kind of story mode things, online battles, local battles, and a lot of collectibles and accolades and stuff like that that you can find for both online and offline, so you can just view, for yourself, and you can unlock stuff that way. But that's kind of all there is so far for this game. It's kind of all they've got. Like I said, this is a older game, so there's not a lot of newer things like certain online features like tournaments and stuff like that. I wish there was some more stuff like that, but basically you just sort of fight against whoever is at number one when you have a lobby full of people, and that's kind of the breakdown when it comes to that. But let's move on over to basically what this game is in terms of it being a port, some of the struggles and some of the things that we have noticed about this game. Some of the other content creators I've talked to have also seen certain struggles, certain things lagging out, certain bad things about this game. And because I have it on Steam here, I'm going to give it a little bit more towards what I think in terms of the Steam port. So this is the Steam port. It does look good. I think this is the best looking version of the game, but it is a pretty old game, so it's going to run fairly well on PS4. And, you know, it's going to run as well as it will on the Switch. I mean, the Switch is obviously a little bit limited, but it is a pretty old game, like I was saying, so it should run pretty decently well because it's a Switch game. But some struggles that we had noticed when it came to PC is whenever you Alt-Tab, sometimes it just flat out crashes the game, and it's super random. We've had people who had the full window mode, people in full screen. A lot of times when you Alt-Tab, it'll just kick you straight out, or it'll kick you out of a lobby. So not necessarily the game always crashes, but it will definitely, more than likely, if you Alt-Tab a lot during an online match with your friends, even if you're just in the lobby spectating, you more than likely are actually going to get booted out. Now, I think that was mostly just for us because we're content creators and we were constantly Alt-Tabbing out to like record and stuff like that. So if you never end up doing that, then you should be perfectly fine. I don't think a lot of people are going to be Alt-Tabbing all the time anyway, but sometimes you Alt-Tab to look something up, to, you know, check on your Discord or something like that. If you're a one-monitor pleb like I am, you Alt-Tab for just about everything else if you're in the middle of playing a game. So I feel the struggle on the Alt-Tab stuff, so sometimes, occasionally, it can kick you out of a lobby, or maybe even potentially crash your game, or not really crash it, but just sort of freezes. It doesn't kick out, but it just sort of freezes in where it was, and sometimes it'll kick back in and you'll be just fine, but it didn't happen too often. Like I said, it was like every 4, maybe 5 times I would Alt-Tab, it would be kind of glitchy, or one of those occurrences would happen. So that's one of the things that we have noticed when it comes to this game with like Alt-Tabbing and having it on PC. So that kind of sucks whenever we would notice that sort of thing happening. Another thing we noticed, there is no instant kills for online play. We were trying super hard last night to try and get like instant kill attacks to work, because there are some attacks where you can line up, you know, having a certain amount of special bar and go up against an opponent, and you can do an attack that instant kills them. You have to be awakened for it and everything, but we noticed that the instant kill attacks didn't work online, which I think makes sense. I don't think people would want that to be a thing that would happen, but the instant kill thing does not work online. I personally had some struggles also using different controllers and whatnot. Now, I know this game is older, but it's ported during, 2022, so I thought that they would have controller support for all modern controllers. Well, I plugged my PS4 controller in with the USB cable, and it did not work for this game. Like most games typically just automatically work. I even tried using it on Bluetooth, and it didn't work either. So I had no way to use my PS4 controller on this game. I plugged in my old Xbox 360 controller, and guess what? It worked immediately. So for some reason, I had to use an older controller in order to make this game work. Kind of sucks that that's the case. I'm not sure if maybe that's just me, or this could potentially just be a Steam problem thing and not actually the game itself. So this might not be an Atlus's in. This might be more on Steam's in because it maybe recognizes it as an older game or something along those lines. Some people were able to use the actual like joystick thing, like the old classic arcade stuff. I think there are some P4 Arena versions of that. People were able to use that on this game. I think LaRue and I think Nam also used that. In some of this footage here, you can actually see that they are using that stuff in there. There is slight, differences with using a controller and the gamepad. You also can use the keyboard and mouse if you want to do that on Steam. But there are some slight differences. The analog is kind of weird when it comes to those directional sort of inputs, so I almost would recommend keyboard and mouse for that. But in terms of movement, maybe you're a little bit faster with the analog and stuff, but I think overall having the like gamepad, joypad thingy, that's probably the best route to go if you're trying to like really do this stuff. But I don't think there's a lot of those out there, and they're pretty hard to find. So I think this is all of the negative stuff I have to say about this port. Obviously for the PS4, you can just use your regular PS4 controller, and you have the lobby mode and everything. You're fine. You're pretty much good to go there. Steam, of course, has some bumps along the way, like most Atlus, stuff that jumps to PC. There's usually a couple different things there that needs a little bit of adjusting, but overall, it's still very good. Those are very, very minor things to have gone wrong, or very minor things to have happened. I still have lots of fun playing this. Me and a couple of different content creators would play this about every other night for the most part when we got our codes. So this thing, honestly works great. We could get in lobbies, we could play for long periods of time without any crashes and stuff like that. Like I said, if you just end up alt-tabbing a whole bunch, you'll be disconnected from the lobby. That's kind of like the biggest gripe I've had with this, but like I said, we were alt-tabbing a lot for different reasons, you know, taking pictures, recording, and stuff like that. So if you don't alt-tab a lot, you're pretty good on the Steam version. The PS4 version, you're probably good. People on the Switch have noticed it looks a little bit worse, but, you know, it runs a little bit worse. But that's because it's on Switch. It's on Switch, so you get what you get with Switch. It makes sense. You could probably dock it. It looks a little bit better. You can have it handheld, and, you know, it's handheld. You know, it's going to run about as well as a Switch game will run. So I think that for the most part is going to wrap up basically what we have here. Quick little recap, you know, you have the story mode things there, you have the local battle modes, which I think could have up to more than 2 players. I think you can have more players than that. I think you can have up to 4 when it comes to local, and then you have your online stuff, your practice modes, the gallery, you have different accolades and stuff like that that you can show for the online mode. There is ranked gameplay also for online mode, so that's kind of all you get for this. And it's a port. There is no like added Joker DLC or anything like that like some people were predicting or some people were thinking was going to happen as to why this was delayed for so long for pre-orders and stuff. And funny enough, people actually got codes before pre-orders, which is kind of strange, but there is nothing extra like that for this game. It is just a pure port, and I think they did a very good job on this. I think on PS4 you're probably running flawlessly, and Switch it's just looking a little bit worse, and on Steam you have a couple different issues when it comes to maybe, you know, connectivity or jumping out of the game and whatnot constantly. So that's about where it is for this game. Hopefully this helped you somewhat understand a little bit more about this. Maybe you're going to get this. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think you're going to pick up this game? And if you are, tell me, what are you going to be getting it on? I think I plan to stream this a bit. I think as soon as this video is up, I might actually be streaming this. If not, I'll be streaming it the next day. And I would love to fight some of you guys. So if you have this on PC, come join the stream and come, you know, battle us. Come fight us a little bit. See how it goes. See who's the best. I might even get some content creators to come do that as well. But that's it for this video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe for more content. Click the bell to be notified whenever I go live again or when I have a brand new video like this go up. I have a couple other videos and me and some other content creators coming up here pretty soon. Some battles with LaRue, Gab, Nam, Gnarly. I have some other videos of us just goofing around and having a fun time with the game. So that's it for now. I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.